guys, today I am taking a Breastfeeding Basics Class. Whew. Heartburn and acid reflux is real today, so I'm really sorry if I am burping during this entire video. But yeah, so this is one class that I knew I definitely wanted to take. I put it off till way toward the end, so I basically only have 2 weeks left until my due date. And so I knew as long as I didn't go deliver early or preemie or anything like that, I knew I'd be able to take this class when I wanted. I'm going to be kind of uncomfortable, but it's only a 2-hour class, and I wanted to make sure that everything from this class of breastfeeding was going to be so fresh in my mind when I go to deliver, because this is something everyone says is like the hardest thing. You think like, oh, you just like put your baby to you and it just happens, but it apparently doesn't. And so I'd like to learn all of the stuff that I'm going to need to know. And I know they provide like lactation consultants and stuff when you deliver, but I'd rather that be like the second time I'm hearing it. You know what I mean? And so I think repetition is a really good way to learn something. And so I'm taking this class by myself. They allow partners to come and encourage it, but I don't know. I just was like, I don't know if Ryan really needs to come to this, other than maybe he could remind me also, but the lactation consultant's there, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'll let you know how it goes, tell you if it's actually worth it or not. So yeah, I'll let you know. So last night was the breastfeeding class, and I say last night because the class was scheduled from 7 to 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I definitely am still working, and it went super late to me. I was looking up at the clock, and we had baby dolls sitting at our desk so you could like practice holding it, and it was already past 9 o'clock, and I was like, we haven't done anything with these. And so yeah, it ended up the class ended at about 9:30, so it was a 2.5-hour class, which was pretty long, especially being that late at night for me. But I think most people take this class a lot sooner in their pregnancy. And so when she asked at the end, she was like, okay, I'm gonna ask due dates. And she's like, okay, do I have any Decembers? And I raised my hand. I was the only one in the entire class. So I guess people don't wait until 2 weeks before their due date, but whatever. I think I'm gonna remember it the best. So whether that's a good thing or not sure, because I was sitting there the whole class. I actually was having contractions for about 2 of the 2.5 hours. Baby was moving the entire time, so maybe she's super excited about breastfeeding. I don't know. But then she asked due dates, she said December, May, January, February, and March, and people were in there for all those due dates. So there's some people that are in there who are at 5 months pregnant, and that's fine. Do it whenever you want to do it. But I do think it's probably better to wait a little longer. Should I have waited until 2 weeks before my due date? Probably not. The chances, because I could go into labor at any point. I mean, like I said, I was sitting there with contractions for most of the class, which was really uncomfortable. Sitting there, just trying to move around and standing up. And luckily they have a whole water fountain gadget thing, and so I could get water whenever I wanted. But that just was anyway, so I'd say maybe a month before your due date would be good, or really oh my gosh, I told you that acid reflux. I think anytime, really, as long as you're gonna remember the information and you'll find it useful for you. So they gave us this little book, Breastfeeding. It goes over everything that we went through pretty much. I love that the classes give us these books, because yes, you are there for the class and everything, but am I going to remember everything we talked about later? No. The other good thing is I can be like, Ryan, go tell me what I'm doing wrong. And he can open the book and be like, oh, well, you're supposed to be breastfeeding 8 to 12 times in a 24-hour period. How many are you at? Oh, I'm already at 12. No wonder she doesn't want any more milk. So I mean, it's really nice to have this book as a reference and a guide. There's also in here pictures of how to hold the baby correctly during breastfeeding for a good proper latch and stuff like that. So that's really nice. And there's different ways you can try it so that if one's not working and whatnot. They also gave us just this sheet of paper This is specific to my class. This book, I mean, it's not like my class wrote it, but I assume that most places would give you a book. I'm not really sure. It was just an outline of what we went through, how it works, latching on, positioning, when to feed your baby, how much is enough, breast care, and then breastfeeding lifestyle, which is really nice because my hospital also offers a lactation center. There's also breastfeeding support groups for moms. Like, you can start going beforehand, you can go after you have your baby, and she said there are about 30 moms who meet it's twice a month for breastfeeding support groups. So that's really nice, even just to meet other moms in the area. So I think that's super nice. And then just when should you call a lactation consultant, what's normal, what's not normal, and stuff like that. So it was good. It also talks about going back to work, about pumping, and just anything, pretty much anything related to it. My instructor was a NICU nurse, a registered nurse, and became a certified lactation consultant, and she was excellent. I really liked her. I would definitely, she goes to the support groups. I think she leads them. So I probably will end up going to those, at least try it out once and meet people, and if I have any questions or anything like that. So the last thing they gave us for the store, a la mode intimates. I was like, oh, I've never heard of them, but it's in my area. It's very near other stores that I go to. I've seen it a million times. I've just never gone. And they do bra measurements, bra fittings. And so I think I'm going to go do that this weekend because I want to make sure everything is good for the baby and that it's not anything I'm doing that is messing the baby up for breastfeeding. But it also gives you a coupon for purchase of $50 or more, you get $5 off. So that was really nice. Sorry, I'm like out of breath. I'm definitely getting more out of breath as I go. Even just sitting here chatting is definitely doing it. But like I said, I only have about 2 weeks left, and also just sitting here, it's compressing her, which is pushing on my lungs, which is always fun. So yeah, so I personally would highly recommend taking the breastfeeding class. I asked some other moms who are friends who recently had kids and said, should I do this, should I not? And almost every single one of them said, I wished I had before I had my baby. So I was like, you know what, it's worth the money. I'm gonna try it, take the class, and then hopefully it'll help later. And I can't say it's helping later because it's not later yet, but I definitely am glad I took it now. I feel a lot more comfortable with the idea of breastfeeding and how to properly do it. And then when I'm at the hospital after I've delivered, a lactation consultant's gonna come over to me anyway. And so it'll be just a reiteration. So yeah, so highly recommend taking a breastfeeding class if you're hospital or local area, whatever offers it. I would definitely think about it. I would recommend it. I think it was good. So yeah, thanks.